Alright guys, welcome back to Antiquated Builds. So in today's tutorial we're going to be doing a Roman taberna, which is a public food establishment for people who otherwise didn't have a kitchen, often with a bar opening out onto the streets. People were coming to get food, but also having a place to come and sit inside. So without further ado, we're going to get on with this one. It's got basically the taverna in the bottom floor, and then we're going to have a upstairs housing apartment. So I'm building this village here, and I've already built this taberna here, but I've got a little spot here where I'm going to put another one. So the basic dimensions we're going to be using in this build today are 9 by 13. So it's a rectangle, and we've got a little bit extra space on the back, which I'm going to show you for something else a bit later. But it's a pretty small sized building. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to basically come and we're going to take 3 blocks from the edge. We're going to place 4 polished diorite blocks in the front here. Then we're going to go, we've got this 4 on the side here, and then indenting 1, we're basically just going to put quartz bricks as so. So not on this back one here, just indenting 1 from the edge, quartz bricks. Super simple. Now basically we're going to follow this perimeter with quartz bricks or any floor material of your choice, and we're going to basically just fill in this floor space right here. Super simple to start off with, guys. Once you've got your base, you're going to be ready to move on to the next step, which is going to be the first foundational walls of this building. So in this building today, I'm going to be using black concrete powder as the bottom base, and I'm going to take basically 2 blocks going upwards around 3 sides of the building. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this first. So on the front here, we're going to take just the black concrete powder, and we're going to take it 1 to the back there. So on top of those quartz bricks, we're just going to leave it right there. On this side here, we're going to do that, and then we're going to place on top of these quartz bricks, and we're going to leave it on the back. Now on the back, I'm going to be placing polished basalt, but I'm only going to be going 1 high. And then on the sides, I'm going to be doing a double thick wall, just so I have a different texture on the inside. And I'm going to be putting stripped spruce logs, and then smooth sandstone on top. You're going to see how this works later on in the video. But basically the idea is I want a different texture inside than outside. Then on the back, I'm just going to be putting some smooth quartz blocks. And on the side, I'm just going to start to build my staircase, which I'm going to show you on the existing one. So we don't have a staircase inside the building to get to your apartment upstairs. We're going to do it outside. So we're just going to start building the base of that right here. And you should be ready to move on to your next step. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to take some quartz pillars. So on top of these black concrete powder blocks, just place 2 up in the spots that I'm going to show you here. You're going to take some smooth quartz blocks there, and we're going to leave a small gap for a lintel on top of that. Just going to be some upside down stairs basically. Then we're going to do some quartz pillars as so, with a 2 block gap in between, and on the back we're basically just going to be leaving the whole thing out for some smooth quartz blocks. So just going to fill this in here. Now we're going to alternate this pattern a little bit as we go further up the building, because I've got an idea of what I want it to look like, but for the moment we're just going to be filling in these as so. The idea with this building, I actually want to make it look a little bit mismatched in some areas, so it looks like it's reusing old building pieces, which is a common thing that lots of Greek and Roman residential city buildings did, and still do today actually. I'm just filling in a little bit more. Now basically going to come to the front, we're going to do the top, so we're going to do this lintel here, and that's going to come on top, just some upside down stairs, and then I'm going to take some polished diorite and I'm going to make a bar shape as such. So in many of these Roman tabernas, I dropped the thing and just completely screw it up, they had a bar that opened out into the streets. People could walk over and they could grab some food from the bar, but they can also grab food from the bar and eat inside. So just going to be filling in some sandstone, and then we're just going to be extending this up 1 layer as well on this side, as you can see me doing here. So just extending it up 1 here, and on this side as well. But in between, on this side and on the back, we're just going to be putting some chiseled quartz blocks. So we're going to be alternating the quartz a little bit today, just so you get a little bit of extra texture, but also just to make it look like, you know, it's been built out of different pieces of building. Now for our ceiling, we're just going to be doing the joists and the joist detail on the ceiling out of some upside down spruce stairs. So it looks like how you see in many Roman buildings, just some joists hanging over in the ceiling, which you can see over there. And then we're just going to cap this out here. I mean, you could on this final one place a full block, but I'm just going to do the upside down stairs, and you get a really nice ceiling pattern in this example. So we're just going to light this up for now. We're going to come back to this material, this interior a little bit later in the video, but for now we're just going to be doing the outside, and then we'll do the interior later on in the video. I'm just going to extend up the staircase on the right hand side, and that's going to allow us to have access into the apartment above the building, or above the taberna. Now on the front, I'm going to do some sort of colonnade, you know, like a little shade in the front. So I'm going to have 3 columns out the front, placed as such, with some granite walls, and then just the, you know, normal sandstone walls, piled 3 blocks high on top. Next, I'm going to take some birch trapdoors, and you're going to place it on the top of this block here, which I think I've already done here, but I don't know why. Anyway, so in these positions right here, we're just going to be placing, if you follow me as such, just birch trapdoors, and that acts as like the kind of structure for the shade that we're going to be putting on top of the front of the building. Now, if you take some brick slabs, we're just going to be doing a really small shade roof detail. And as you can see, it's really starting to come together now, the front of this building. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a railing for the side of the staircase. So I'm just going to be doing this in spruce trapdoors, as so. And you just want to bring 2 trapdoors, so you want to have it coming on the block above and then the block below, and that should make it super easy. It just makes it look a little bit more solid. Now we're going to start working on the second floor or the first floor, depending on which part of the world you're in. So we're going to go 4 blocks up with the quartz pillars, then we're going to take smooth quartz blocks and go 4 high, so 3 from there, and then we're going to leave a 4 block gap, and then we're going to do 4 blocks high again with the quartz pillars. Now on this side, we're going to take chiseled quartz blocks, and we're going to basically ignore the pillars below. So we're going to come around the back, we're just going to actually have to delete that one down there. And basically here what we're going to be doing is we're basically just going to be having a 2-block tall band of chiseled quartz blocks. Now we're going to just be doing the same thing with our pillars, 4 high, just to extend this basic frame of our building. And this is going to be the basic grid of how we're going to make this. So on the front, here we go, we're going to just put some smooth quartz blocks as so, in like an L shape, and then we're going to be leaving a 4-block gap there, and then a 2-block gap in this window here, as I just changed the weather so we can see. Take some smooth quartz stairs, and just place them as so. And this is going to have a little indent before the start of the roof, so it just makes it look a little bit deeper and not so flat. Here I'm just going to be taking some stairs, and I'm going to be making a square shape as shown, and then I'm just going to be putting stairs on top of that. Same here, and then 1 stair, upside down stair, 1, 2, happy days. Just a super simple shape on the side, just to offset the window patterns, just so it isn't the same. Again, take some quartz pillars, as so, smooth quartz blocks, upside down stair, and then we're going to be making a window here in the middle, so just some smooth quartz blocks again. Again, really simple. And then on top, we're just going to be taking chiseled quartz blocks. So again, we're trying to mix match some of these materials on the back and on this side, so we have this kind of weird looking shape to the back of the building, which I think it looks quite cool. I mean, you can make it bit more simple and just have like the normal shapes but and not normal materials, but yeah, the whole idea that I want to have here is that I have this like piece of another building that looks like it's stuck on top of it, which I think is quite cool. If you see like some of the buildings in much of Greece or Rome, lots of them are made of lots of different buildings, which is quite cool. So take some mangrove trapdoors, and we're going to just be making the like sills of the window as such, like the frames, just a little bit of a red accent on this one as well, and then take your signs, and we're going to be making a red band all the way around the front and the right side of this building. We're going to ignore the other sides because we don't want this colour there, but as you can see, we get a nice like red band that joins into the frames of the windows. So we're going to just change a couple of materials, and we're going to be taking, basically going inside and on this line of block here, we're just going to be taking some red terracotta, so this is going to be the base of our rooms, and we're going to make a shape as such. So we're going to come all the way to the back here, leave one block, and then we're going to fill it in with just some smooth quartz, which is pretty basic. And we're going to make it too high here. Then on the ceiling, I'm going to take some chiseled quartz blocks. And I'm not going to do this on the back, sorry, that's incorrect. If you just follow the pattern that I'm doing here, it's just a basic thing where the idea is that we have the chiseled quartz on top of the wall, and then on the front and the left-hand side, so just so you basically have something to hang like lanterns off of it, but it also just makes it look a little bit more interesting than just having the wood ceiling, which we're going to come back and do a little bit later in the video, but you kind of get the idea. You can have this area where it's a little bit lower, a little bit taller. Just going to put the door in there. And that's the basic interior layout. I mean, you know, the main bit of the house is pretty much done now. So the next thing is the roof. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole blocks, and then we're going to put some chiseled quartz blocks at the back here. And then we're going to come all the way to the end, but just one from the end of the whole brick blocks. And if you just follow the pattern that I'm doing with my bricks, so I'm going to do 3 there, 3 extra ones. Then I'm going to do some bricks here as well. Then I'm going to do another layer of chiseled quartz blocks, and then I'm going to put some upside down stairs. And this is going to be like the spine for the roof. So it's all going to come up to this one point, rather than being like a 4-pitch roof. It's just got 2 pitches, this roof, on the corner. But we're just going to be doing it out of slabs basically. So as you see, super simple, just a slab roof out of bricks up to that single point in the middle. So I'm just going to be placing a couple of blocks on top of here as well, so just so it looks like it's overlapping. I mean, it's really up to like how you want to do it, but I think that this kind of looks quite nice. Or you can, like in other videos I've done where you mess up like the different brick materials, so you make it look like a roof that's been a bit damaged. I mean, in this one I'm going to have it as like a newly built roof or newly refurbished roof, so it's just quite sharp, and it comes to this nice shape as shown here, and it has this little like overlap to that quartz like pedestal bit at the back of the building. Now this area up here, I mean, I'm going to come back to this a bit later. You have like a big loft space, which I've not used in the example build, but yeah, you can use it for like a cool storage room or another apartment. So the most important part of the video actually is this bit, the interior, because that's what we're doing. We're making a taberna. It's got to have some sort of restaurant in it. So first thing, I'm going to put a sign for soups up. So we're going to be selling soups in this taberna, and I'm just going to be putting some pressure plates around just to signify that, you know, these are like plates. Just put some furnaces down, and then some dark oak trapdoors, which are going to be my tables within this establishment, and just some, you know, pressure plates around to just act as plates as well. Some birch slabs and signs to make some chairs. And you kind of get, I mean, this is like a very cramped basic layout. I mean, you can make a much bigger one. I mean, even like a good idea to put 2 back to back, so you can make a much larger taberna interior. But the thing is, it's like, as long as you have a bar, as long as you have like some sort of indication that there's a bar and somewhere to make some food, I mean, that's kind of the basic principle of some of these. If you look at like some of the historical examples you can find across the Roman world. So then you can do is, I mean, you know, what I'm doing here is I'm just going to put some flowers. I mean, I might actually change this one here because you can actually have a shelf on top as well. Maybe put some furnaces under the cauldrons to make it look like there's some heat below them. I don't know. I mean, I probably should put this a block higher, but you kind of get the idea. There's some smoke that's coming underneath the cauldron every now and again as I break what I just built. But yeah, I mean, in fact, on some of here, I mean, you've got so much ceiling space that you can place like trapdoors on here. So you could, I don't know, you can put like a spruce trapdoor shelf on top, maybe add, you know, your plant pot up there, some lanterns, maybe add a couple of barrels up there as well. I mean, it's really up to you how you do this. You can have like item frames of lots of different bits of food that you're selling in this shop. But the idea is like it's a public food establishment that you want to have it open to the street to make it look opening so people come and eat there. That's the whole like concept of these fast food counters that you found in the Roman Empire. You can see you've got your bar here, you can order your food, you've got your furnaces. Basic ideas there. Now for the apartment upstairs. So you've got the place downstairs. Now this is where the person who owns the establishment is going to live. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in my ceiling with some birch upside down stairs. Now these again are going to be like joists as we've done on the floor below. But I'm just going to change the colour here. So as well, you might want to just fill in some light up here for the moment so you don't get any bats. But again, it's the same idea that we've done in many of our other videos. It's just the upside down stairs and it looks like joists that are running across the ceiling, except this time it's just a different colour, but it's the same idea. Just going to whack a door in this hole as well. Actually, you want it to open the other way, so looks a bit neater. And then we're going to do a really simple bedroom design. So I'm going to take this banner. It's basically just a red banner with like a yellow outline on it. Super easy to make. Nothing particularly fancy, so you can do it in survival. And then you put a yellow bed, some carpet, some scaffolding. Super easy, and it looks really cozy. Like you get a nice color palette with it, red and yellow with a bit of white and a bit of like woody textures. Looks really nice, I think. I mean, you could actually do this in purple or like other colors, but you know, that's the good thing about a lot of like Roman things is that you can do it in loads of different colors and it will look really good. And then on this one, we're going to be doing some sort of office. Like I've thought, okay, he's got his kitchen downstairs. You know, they can have their food there. This is going to be the office that administrates all of the deliveries that are going to come into the Taberna for all the food. And that's going to be their office where they can basically look out to the sea or the rest of the village, basically. So I'm just mixing up some different textures of carpets. I'm going to put a bed, which is going to be like a bench with some fences on it, some signs on it, sorry. Super, super simple. I mean, it's stuff that we've done in other videos. Again, I mean, it's, you know, it's up to you, up to you really what you want to do with it. But, you know, I think this is kind of a good example of what you could do as like a Roman apartment interior, basically. But I think you'll find with a lot of these builds that I tend to like do the same stuff with interiors. I'm not the best in the world at this stuff. People are much better than me at making interiors. But this is just to give you guys some little ideas for this. Maybe you put like a different plant in the plant pot or something. I don't know. Cool. But there you have it. I mean, you have the basic idea of like the upstairs. You've got like full blocks to place lanterns on as well. Lots of different colours. So it looks quite lively and quite colourful, which is quite nice. Alright, so now onto the exterior details. So I made a mistake here. I'm just going to fix this. You just want to extend the trapdoors a bit higher because I think it is a bit low, this railing. So you just want to extend it up one on only these ones, and then we're just going to come back and delete a couple of these. So actually not that one, but that one, that one, that one, and that one, and that looks much better. And now you've got like a proper railing as you go up the building that you're not going to fall off of, which is the point of the railing. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put like a plant pot out the front. I mean, you can really do what you want in this area. You can do some azalea leaves, you can do some jungle leaves. I'm going to do some jungle leaves here because I'm going to have azalea leaves growing up the side of the building. So the basic idea, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of these azalea leaves and I'm just going to randomly kind of place them up the side here, on the right side and on the left side of the building. And I'm going to place some fences. I mean, you can use oak. In fact, I'm going to use jungle in this case because I think it looks a little bit better. But, you know, you can really do whatever colour you want to. And just place some fences and whatever. And it makes it look like a cool climber that's climbing up the side of the building, which I think looks quite nice. You can mix and match really however you want to. but you kind of get the idea. It's really up to you how you place it, to be honest. On the left side as well, I'm going to do the same thing, so I'm just going to be placing a few of these up the side. But really, I mean, there's no art to this. Just place them randomly, and you can kind of get it to look somewhat like coherent or whatever. There you go, that will do. A couple at the bottom as well, maybe, I don't know. There you go. And it's looking really nice now. Now, you may be wondering why I leave this space on the back. Now, we can see that we have this area, this loft at the top of the building. So I'm going to show you an example. I'm not going to show you how to build this, but I'm going to show you an example of what you can do with it. I've thought of it as like a extra storage room, but it's, it could be an alleyway as well, just to leave a little bit of extra room for your building. So basically, if you come to the back of the building, so you might have your alleyway here, say for example. So you could have a building there, for example. I'm building in stone right next door. But you come to the back of the building and it could be someone's apartment or it could be a storage room, but you've got a ladder here that goes up to a little hole in the wall, which I've made with a slab and a stair, which means that you can still pass through it when crouching, but it's not like a full-sized door. So it looks quite indented, which is quite cool. So you've got to crouch to get into this doorway. There you go, you can get in, and you've got a nice little storeroom up here. So you've got some crates, some barrels, you've got, all sorts of stuff. I mean, I'm just going to place another one here. But, you get the basic idea. You can use this as a storeroom, you can use this as I don't know, a bird house, somewhere for your cat, I don't know, somewhere where your neighbour lives, maybe your friend, you want them to live up there. But you kind of get the idea. It's this hidden apartment that's at the top of the building, which you wouldn't normally think of. And if you look at some of Roman city history, they crammed all sorts of stuff in really small spaces because cities were so densely packed in many places, particularly Rome. So it adds to the realism a little bit. So I'm just going to give a quick little tour of the building to end off the video. So as you come in, you've got your taberna, whatever we want to call it, where you're going to have your soup. You can go up the side staircase, so this is a separate part of the building, into your apartment. You've got your master bedroom. You've got your office, where you're going to be managing all of the products that are going to be coming into the taberna, and you can see out to sea over the village. And you've got this space at the back as well. And this is actually really nice, this space. I mean, it's really nice and cozy, to be honest. It's quite a good use of space that is otherwise unuseful. So there we have it, guys. I mean, I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and you've enjoyed the video. Maybe you've learned a little bit about Roman tabernas. And I hope this was an easy one for you to build. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Roman builds. I've got a few more coming in the next few weeks. And until the next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.